Parkour first started in a little town in Paris called Leeds with a big group of guys called the Yamakaze. They started as little kids just playing around in space when they were bored, when they had nothing to do, and then sort of leading on to can you go further, can you climb higher, can you do this, and they got stronger and carried it on into adulthood, and then they started making films and money out of it. I was about 15, maybe 14 years old when I first started. I saw a documentary on Channel 4 about it, about the French guys that started it off. I just thought it was just really amazing and different, and I recorded it on a video cassette tape, so that's how long ago it was, and just used to watch it and then go out, try and train and do the same movements, not knowing anything about conditioning or looking after your body through diet and other type of exercises and things like that. And there were only maybe 3 or 4 of us in the beginning, that people that trained with me, and they all gave up quite quickly, or became injured and then got scared of doing it again. So I trained on my own for a long time, and then a lot of other people started a couple of years later, after the Jump Britain, which was a sequel to the first documentary, came out. I've never been paid for doing what I do, because then it'd become more of a job and less of a hobby. And if it's a job, then I maybe think I'd enjoy it less, and it'd make it too structured, make it too uniform, it'd give you too many responsibilities. It's about being free and in enjoying yourself, so I don't think I'd want to get paid. My favourite place to train is wherever my mates are, so it doesn't really matter where I am. I mean, there's got to be obstacles there, obviously, but as long as my friends are around me, and it doesn't matter where I am. So that's my favourite place to train, because there's a whole sort of giant community and a massive group of friends that I've gained through doing it, and we all are in the same mindset, and we all like the same thing. So wherever they are, I'm happy. Yeah. And I got the first chance to go to where, like, the mecca of parkour last year with all my mates, and I had an absolutely amazing time in the summer. We didn't even train that much, just being in the environment and feeling the sort of vibes and knowing the things that people have done there and seeing the jumps from the old French guys was just I think it's the closest thing I'll ever have to a religious experience.
Came to Leeds thinking, might try a few jumps, see how it goes, and I met a few people. One of them was Christien Falloon and Scott McQuaid in Leeds. I didn't know anyone else trained, but I went with a few people from my area, and it was all right, but I didn't know anyone and didn't know anything to do. I just was used to seeing like people roll and do big drops and stuff, so I thought, it's all right. I came into Leeds once, but after I met some people that train in Leeds, and they just told us to meet them at the art gallery. Came into art gallery, and I just started getting to know them and coming in all the time.
When I first started training parkour, that was originally in Manchester, but I moved to Leeds through meeting 2 of my friends, Dan and Polish. Like, what we used to do, we used to meet up together, we used to train. So I'd go to Leeds, they'd come to Manchester, and eventually I came to Leeds for university and moved in with them for training parkour.
Every week we have a Facebook group, and we all contact each other on Facebook saying where we're going to train and what sounds best. But it causes quite a few arguments sometimes, because we're used to training some of the places a lot more often than others.
Since parkour's first started, obviously now it's become a lot more recognised within the community. Like, councils are recognising it a lot more. They're starting to build parkour parks in England. There's a few down in London. But this year I'm going to Copenhagen, which has I think the most in the world. It's got about 10 parkour parks in just one city, so I'm looking forward to going there this year and training.
Sometimes I get minor injuries, like pains in my knee or my ankle sometimes, but every now and then you get a serious injury that'll put you out for a week or 2. But a few weeks ago I tried a double cat pass, and I landed wrong on my ankle, and I was out for about 2 months. Broke my ankle, and it was horrible. The worst thing ever, having an injury in parkour.
I work for a company called Singlebound, and they helped me to get an ADAPT Level 1 coaching qualification, and that's for assisting, they're the main coaches and I can assist with them. And so I get paid on Sundays to join in with them. I coach at a gym in Pudsey. Single Bound is a parkour coaching company. The aim is really to help kids, to teach them parkour in a safe and fun environment for them, to make sure they've got the correct technique. Because parkour alone is sort of a lot of people learn it incorrectly, and we're sort of making sure it's safe and fun for the future generations. When I started parkour, there wasn't any sort of coaches for us. We sort of had to learn it all on the streets ourselves. We'd be taught by people who have taught themselves. There was a facility to come. We did have a gym to go to, but that still wasn't taught. That was still an open session where we had to practice techniques that we've seen on videos. It was all very self-taught. So now these kids have got an opportunity to learn faster because they've got someone who's experienced to show them how to train.
When you can't train outdoors, it's pretty rubbish, to be fair. There's parkour gyms, but it's nothing like training outside. I mean, training indoors with padding before you go outside is all right, but it lowers your confidence levels a lot compared to. So I suppose we just go to gyms or just go training gymnastic gyms or weight gyms just to get stronger for when you come back outside.
So this gym as a facility is quite useful. When the weather's bad or over winter, when it's too cold to train outside, sort of all meet up. We'll say we're all going to the gym today and we'll all come and have a nice session. But it's better that way because outside it'd be nearly impossible to jump on an icy surface. Whereas in here you can still practice all the techniques in a safe environment.
First, when I started parkour, I wanted to have a career out of it, do performances and maybe coaching and stuff like that. Now I just have a normal job, so I don't really have time to do that. But obviously I do it to keep fit, I do it to keep in touch with my friends, and I do a bit of coaching on the side. Parkour, well, it teaches you how to be confident with what you do, basically. You kind of practice the same thing over and over again. And it just kind of gives you the self-confidence in the rest of your life as well as in parkour itself.
I found out about free running through my brother, who I've just spoken to. I wasn't so much inspired to do it at first. It was because I've stopped climbing, which I did before for about 2 years. And I kind of started hanging around with my brother and just learning the basics, and it kind of just progressed from there. I got more and more into it, and as my skills improve, I've become more creative and kind of inspired about my training as well.
The people that trained back in the day, back in 2008, have now kind of moved on, gone to universities, got jobs, got families even, so they stopped training, so we always get new people in. Younger generations basically start training, we teach them, we show them what to do.
So we tend to get quite a bit of trouble from the police and security. The reaction varies sometimes. You'll have some security guards who'll just be happy to kind of talk to us, move us on, and we're also happy to talk back to them and kind of explain what we do and how we're not really damaging things or being reckless, but we're just young people trying to be healthy and kind of enjoy a good lifestyle.
Back in 2008, I used to just jump off stuff and not really knowing what I'm doing. Now obviously we focus more on technique, we condition our body so we're strong doing what we do. So we train to be strong, not to damage ourselves. We practice the same thing like hundreds of times to make sure we do it properly before we ever take it to buildings and whatever. I always focus on eating healthy, so I don't have takeaways. I don't drink fizzy drinks. I don't drink energy drinks. So I focus on eating all the natural food, like eggs, for example, fruit, some rice, complex carbohydrates.
Diet is very important for parkour. You can probably see that parkour is very physically demanding. We put tremendous impacts onto our bodies, so it's really, really important to have a healthy diet for stuff like strong bones, muscles, joints, everything, so that you don't just wear out after a few years because your body's not strong enough to actually handle the impacts. So my diet would be as much natural, unprocessed foods as possible, stuff like nuts, fruits, vegetables, some meat, and yeah. I think the practice of parkour has made me a much more free person. The parkour movement has inspired me to be a lot more expressive in the way I live. Other than that, it's made me a much more confident, strong person in daily life, and things that would normally cause me a lot of trouble are now just challenges that help me become stronger. Okay, it's been good talking to you, and bye. I think parkour's inspired me to... Mate, I need to get out of my system first.